Hello.
Hello, everyone.
So, very special night tonight, and I'm very excited today. We have somebody who has been really important, at least for the history of the United States. So, before we start with that, if you are new to this channel, we go live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we are very lucky, Elena and I, we met when Elena came to me for an alien abduction hypnosis session. She wanted to know what happened during that time. She connected with her protectors, who now we talk to every Thursday live, and who also are able to connect to us to different beings out there in the multiverse. So just really exciting how we're growing and how we're able to really talk to different people. And today we are talking to Valiant Thor, or at least that's the name that he was given here on Earth. We'll find out. So for today we're going to do things a little bit different. And in a minute, Elena is going to explain to us how she's going to connect, because today is going to be different than she usually connects to Thorhan. But before we do that, just want to give you an idea of how we're going to do questions today, okay? So today we are going to do some questions that Elena and I came up with. From there, we'll move on to the Patreon questions. And I want to make sure that everybody understands that in the Patreon questions, as well as any live questions that we read today, they are going to be the ones that we're going to prioritize will be the ones that are for Valiant Thor. So if I see that there is a question that is not related to him or to that time on Earth or to Venus, I will hold the question. And if we have time later on, we can ask. And if not, we can ask Thorhan at a later time. But for today, the questions that we are going to cover are only the questions that are related to Val Thor, because we don't want to waste his time. We want him to be glad that he came. And so I want to make sure that we keep the questions to the topic. All right. So Elena, you want to tell us how we're going to be doing this connection and communication today?
Yes, hi everyone. So normally we do a channeling. That means that Thorhan connects to my implant. I have an implant in my head. And this allows him to take temporarily control of my voice and my upper body. So today, as we have a special guest, I was thinking that we would stay a little bit longer. So Thorhan and I thought about a different method, as we do sometimes. It is by telepathy, using also a holographic device. So this happens when I am not in contact with the person I am communicating with, because Valiant Thor doesn't want to do channeling and he doesn't do direct contact with humans anymore. But he agreed, we have this privilege, to be with us tonight, with Thorhan tonight, on the orbital station of the Galactic Federation, one of the orbital stations, to answer our questions. So it is a great privilege. So what we will do is I will connect telepathically with Thorhan, which is a less tiring way for me. And Thorhan will relay my image and voice to a holographic device he has in front of him. It's a pyramidal device with metal panels. And this will broadcast in a hologram my upper body and my voice, so I can, the other person can see me and hear me. And I will be able to see everything and hear everything through Thorhan's eyes and body, because that's how we connect telepathically by distance. So he will hear Elisa's voice in my head asking questions, and he will pass them on to Valiant Thor, who will reply, and I will tell you what he says. What else? We had requested this interview for a very long time. Valiant Thor wasn't available, and we thought this was never going to happen until recently, a few days ago. Thorhan surprised me that Valiant Thor accepted to connect and answered his request. And long story short, he's here with him upstairs, as I say, and I am going to connect. I will be able to interact with you, but so great day today. So that's gonna be cool. I am going now to connect to Thorhan, relax, connect to him telepathically, and let us all surround ourselves in a Merkaba of light.
Yes.
And let's do this.
Okay, so let me know when you're ready for the first question.
Yes. Okay, I'm connected with Thorhan, and he's in a room sat around a table, and Valiant Thor is there at his right, and in front of him there is Ardana, the high commander of the station, supervisor of the station. I don't know, they are here to, Ardana is here to supervise the conversation. So I am ready to hear the first question, and Thorhan will pass it on, and I will tell you what he answers. Valiant Thor answers.
Awesome. So first I want to say hi to Thorhan, to tell him we all love him very much, and we are so very thankful for putting this together for us. And I know you can tell him telepathically, so I won't wait. Well, he can hear me. So,
he hears you.
Yeah, okay. So the first question is, I want to make sure I'm addressing him as he would like to be addressed. I don't know, again, if Valiant Thor is his name, or so what exactly would he like for me to address him as?
Commander Val.
Commander Val. Fantastic. All right. So, Commander Val, thank you so much for being here. We are so very thankful. So how did the decision to come to Earth come about, so people are aware of why you came?
I was commanded by the Council of Five and the Galactic Federation to help the Terrans to not compromise themselves in making a bad choice. You were about to make a big one, which you did at the end. I was commissioned to help you to find a way not to accept, to commit to an unfortunate agreement. This is why I came.
Okay. Was there, how did that change? How would our lives have been different if this term would have been accepted? If what you know, well, first tell us what your message was, and then we can see what would happen if.
My message was and still is. We cannot interfere at your place. We need your decision and your agreement. You have the free choice. You have the free will. We are not deciding for you. This is the law of all species in this galaxy, under the protection of the Federation and the Great Council of Five. There were 9 at the start, now 5. You have always the choice. You always had the choice. You always will have this choice for your destiny. I needed to ask, and the answer, I didn't have it. You had it. In a time of despair, of fear, you were about to make an unfortunate decision. My council and the Federation have tried to convince your leaders not to make this mistake. At the time, a fleet of Sicars allied to a fleet from the Nebu you call Orion came to enforce the ground forces of those you call reptilians. They came to offer an agreement to your leaders. We came to ask you not to commit to this, because they always do like this. They always ask and seduce with the best technology, weapons, empowering the weak. When I say weak, I mean those under the weakness of their greed. The Federation and the Great Council of the Five offered you help and assistance. This help and this assistance was turned down. I stayed a few years on a mission to keep on influencing your leaders to change their minds. Most of them didn't. I left. This took me 3 years of relentless efforts. The leader of USA was a very kind, clever, enlightened man. His soul was mixed, not from here, your terra.
Mm.
He couldn't move. He was a prisoner in his own house. I tried to work to convince him to be stronger than the ones around him, lying to him, luring him, but he didn't succeed. Before he left a message. This message was a warning against who truly controlled your planet. My message, the message I was telling at this time, and I tell today more than ever, the reason why I came is to tell these words again. You have free choice. It is only of your free will that you will ask for assistance. Ask not as begging the Federation and the Council. Ask not in fear. Ask not like children or scared animals. Ask as equal. If you want to enter membership with the Federation, you need to consider yourselves as such, ready to enter because you are peaceful people, equal in wisdom to the level required to enter membership. Ask assistance. Ask with your heart as equal. Ask for our assistance as equal, and we will answer. Not begging, not with anger, not with despair, but in power, in will as equals. You have free choice. We cannot assist you if you do not ask officially as equals. Do not consider the Federation and the Council as superior beings. As long as you will do this, you will not be able to assert your authority. If you consider yourselves as inferior beings, you will not evolve. I need to tell as well that there are many operations going on your planet, which I will not disclose, but tell this. We are helping you, liberating your planet as much as we can without the agreement of your leaders. It is all in the universe a question of agreement, free will, and flow. Stand up. Look at the sky, not as something above you, but as you in it. Request assistance from the Galactic Federation and the Council of Five as free human beings, considering you inferior to a power such as the Galactic Federation is not putting you in a place of power. It is putting you in a place of slave. You require assistance to liberate yourselves from a state of slavery. So do not consider yourselves as slaves to a religion, to a political power, not even the Galactic Federation. To require assistance from slavery, do not consider yourselves as slaves, as inferior, but as much evolved and powerful as all the members of the Galactic Federation. This is the message I want to assert. Ask for assistance this way. Begging won't be answered. I have spoken.
Okay, thank you. So what would have been different? How do you think the world would be different now if we would have been able to do what you asked us to do?
You would have medical technology. Your world will be in peace. Your wars will be little, insignificant. You would have changed your system of energy. All the big establishments will have been dismantled. The power would be for the people of Terra that I like to call Earth. If you had listened, we would have intervened openly, eradicating all the reptilians from your undergrounds, because agreeing with us, you would have broken your agreement with the reptilians. That is all you needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But this help was always turned down by your governments. Enslavement is first in the mind. Secondly, it is physical. Enslavement is eradicated by will. Request assistance officially. Some of your leaders have started, two of them, to understand. Two powerful of your leaders, two most powerful of your leaders have requested assistance not in the right way, but we are working with them. Once they will have eliminated those who tie them down, they will be free and we will intervene. We cannot kill your people. We cannot eradicate those who turned to the dark unless you start doing it yourself and request assistance in your work. This is not diplomacy. This is a law of the universe. You need to request the right way.
So, do you know if our current president is aware that he has the option to request help from you? Does he know that he can do that?
Yes, we
Okay.
told him.
Okay. Okay. When you were here, as you know, we have many leaders all over the world. When you were here, did you also try to speak to any other leaders, like the Russian leader back then, or any of the other leaders in other countries, or was it just the U.S.?
No, I went everywhere.
Okay.
A
So
few
they all
listened.
said no?
My time among your leaders is over, but I met a few. Some decades ago. The American leader was clever and wanted to refuse agreement with the Seeker and Nebu. He planned to do so, but he didn't know that behind his back, his military complex and generals had decided otherwise. The CIA is not a good institution and not helping this humanity.
Yes.
There is something I wish to say. Commander Ardana wishes not.
Okay. Okay. Um, okay. So what comes to mind is that those agencies that were controlling the president at the time and still do, um, are so if they're infiltrated by reptilians and they are the ones, actually making the decisions, then they're never going to agree to ask for help from their enemies. So I just don't see how we would have been able to get out of that anyway if
We are neutralizing reptilians in power. A senator and a president had decided to request assistance of the Federation and break the agreement with the Sikaar and Orion alliances. They were both assassinated. Now times have changed. Things will be done differently. Assistance has been requested. I do not tell who requested. 3 leaders requested. But now it is the moment when we do clean up around them. I will not disclose operations. I will just say all the Terran human race needs to request assistance because it is a whole race. It is not necessary that the whole planet does it, just a good number. Every
Oh.
night, go outside. Look at your sky. You may see a little dot, which is the station where I stand. You will not know it is there. Request assistance as a member of the galactic community. Say that you are all ready and request assistance. You will think, you will see things change. You will see.
So how can you hear us? I mean, I know I go out there all the time asking for people to show up and nothing ever happens. So how do we know that you're hearing us?
They hear your hearts. When you elevate your consciousness, you become visible to them in the Federation because they are more elevated in consciousness. If you elevate your vibration, your consciousness, you become at the same level and ready to talk to them. This is why I was telling you, do not request in anger or in a feeling of inferiority. Request with a high vibration, consciousness open, being part of the whole and everything. You are spiritual beings. Do not forget, and you are free. You just need to acknowledge it and to embrace it and to claim it to the universe. You are free beings. Chains are illusions.
So if somebody out were to go outside, they would need to say, I have free will, and I'm requesting help from the Federation, the Galactic Federation of
Yes.
Worlds.
Yes, he nods his head. He says yes.
Okay, and I would think that we want to do that as we concentrate in our heart space.
He says, push away all angers. Push away resentment. Do not be manipulated. Be sure we will answer. Do not keep bitterness in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
This is not heard. Only they hear when we speak equal to equal.
Right. Okay. Okay. Um, I I think we can do that. Hopefully, we can get the message out and as to as many people as possible to to get this moving. Do you think there has to be like a certain percentage of people to do it, or
Everywhere around your planet, it is not the number. Yes, it matters, surely, but what is important also is that it happens everywhere, in all countries, part of your planet, diversified geographical positions.
okay?
I'm asking, um, could you please have an idea of, give us an idea of the number? Say a rough number, please, if you can. 100 millions, 100 million of Terrans would be enough.
Okay, well, there's our answer. Um,
You need to grow in consciousness.
yes.
You can be surprised how many Terrans are awakened on this planet. 100 million seems to you a big number, but in truth, there is such a number of awakened earthlings. They just don't have all the confidence and the opportunity to speak out. We of the Council of Five have done a good work, okay, of awakening the souls and the vibrations of this planet. Okay. I have a question for Valiant Thor, Elena. Speaking. You spoke about the Council of Five. You are a member of the Council of Five and the Federation as well. Could you please explain? I am member of the Council of Five because my planet is administered by the Council of Five, and the Galactic Federation has an outpost there for which I am working also. I have the uniform of my people in the regulation of the Galactic Federation. I work for both the Council of Five and the Galactic Federation. Thank you.
Okay. So are you, I know I heard that you came and then you decided to stay after you left. So did you actually come back and stay for a little while? Are you still here?
After I left, I didn't come back for a while, 5 years, and afterwards I was commissioned again against my liking, and I requested a different mission. I now order the fleet from my planet and interact very few with your leaders. I keep on contacting sometimes main leaders, and this is all. At the time I was living in United States of America,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't stay all the time there. I visited other countries of your world to meet with other leaders. So I didn't really stay in one place.
Okay. So then the 3 years that you were in the Pentagon, then were you in and out? Like I know that you were that you were able to dematerialize and go elsewhere. So were you at that time also visiting different leaders as well during those 3 years in the Pentagon?
Yes, I was. As I said, I didn't stay in the same place. I was mainly living, staying in this pentagonal building because this was the eye of the operations for your planet. There was made the agreements with the gray species that you dislike and the reptilians. It was where all your fate started.
Are you able or allowed to tell us what agreements were made on our behalf? Because I think these agreements were made on our behalf. I think we should have the right to know what was agreed for us.
Yes, these agreements were made first with the Xrog from Shant Bahali. You call this system Zeta Reticuli. These were sent to lure you, crying for help, in exchange for technology. They asked your leaders about material to their genetic experiments to enhance their race, which they said was dying. The Xrog were with the Solipsirae. Okay. Both races are clones denaturated with altered DNA, slaves to the Sikaar Empire. Agreements were made with Solipsirae. These agreements, once made, allowed the Sikaar to settle, as well as the Nebu alliances, such as the Mitra, the Kili Tokert, the Grail, and other races, mainly Mitra from Megopei that you call Andromeda. They have a presence in Nebu area, Orion, you say. Okay. These agreements were as such that your government in America offers facilities under the ground to conduct experiments, to store people, and in exchange, they would give useful technology to enhance your weapon systems, your devices to make war, and give the one who makes the agreement great power upon all his enemies. The agreement for the abductions was that prisoners would be borrowed as well as sick, mentally sick people from hospitals. That is why in some hospitals you have undergrounds. There was a set number of abductees allowed by the American government, but the Nebu and the Sikars overpass the agreements, and the abductions didn't respect what first was agreed. Slowly, they set up mind control centers. They dug a big web of undergrounds under all main military bases. The government of America couldn't refuse because they were tied by fear. And the more they wanted to resist, the more the Mitra and the Sikar were offering gifts to shut them down. This is how a very fast progress has been made in your war devices, prototypes, new ways of piloting your devices. But in exchange, your governments closed their eyes upon the horrific practices happening with their consent under their ground. These were the agreements. The Sikar always do the same. They never show themselves at first. They always send Gzrog and Solipsirai to trick. You made agreements with grace, but in truth, you made agreement with the Sikar Empire and the Nebu Alliance. These were the agreements. I tried to tell you not to do this, that If you request, if you accept our assistance, we can help you to deactivate all your weapons and help you get on together in peace. And the technology we will give you will be for the good of your people, medical devices, devices to harness free energy, but it was declined because war and greed was more seducing. Your leader, at the time I met him, wanted to listen to us and agree with us, but his military helpers decided otherwise. Have you understood?
Yes. And so that I just want to make sure we confirm that's President Eisenhower, right?
Yes, he was a friend to me.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to help him.
Mm-hmm. So how did the reptilians get involved in all of this?
There was a presence, an ancient contingent living underground who was not very harmful. How did they get involved? They go through the galaxy seeking for worlds to conquer, sorry. They found yours. They just wanted to have it. The food, the genetic material to create more slaves for their empire and trade them with the Nebu. You know, these two groups do not get on together, but for some causes they do.
So were the reptilians here when the Greys came to try to do this treaty, this agreement? The reptilians were already here?
An ancient colony of Naga in your underground world. They were not interfering with the surface. They were not in contact anymore with the Sikar Empire, although they were an ancient colony of them. When the Sikar Empire came back, they allied with their ancient colony, who was already underground, living peacefully. But they get them to ally once again to the feeling of conquest. So there was an occupation of reptilians already, but not having to do with the Griada agreements.
Okay. Okay. All
You
right.
better not know everything that is going on under your feet?
Yes, I agree. I want to know more. I want to know, but I also don't want to know too much because I don't want this conversation to go into a um, lower vibrational space. We want to make sure that we keep it higher vibrational. But I think it was important to know what was happening at the time when you came, so it gives people a reference point of why of why you were here.
Yes, I would like people of Earth to think and to know that they have the power themselves to chase the reptilian and grey alliances and empires from their world. We cannot grow for them. You need to realize this. You have the willpower. Your energy is not trapped. It is an illusion. Enslavement is an illusion first in the mind. This is like a matrix. The enslavement is illusion. Physical, for sure. But if you decide to take back your power, the chains will break because what keeps you vulnerable to the physical Sikars, Nagas, and Nebu is fear.
Mm.
If you elevate your consciousness, they will be fearful. They will not attack you. Fear is the illusion. We have many contingents working together with your contingents allied to your armies that you do not know. I tell you now to physically wipe out all these beings from underground your planet. Many operations are going on now. At the moment, as I speak to you, and this is our job. Yours is to elevate your consciousness as fast as you can. Keep your feelings as high as you can. This is difficult to comprehend, but believe me, it makes sense and it is your salute. Salute.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So something that I'm hoping will help is to get people to believe that you're real, that you really were here, and that what can you tell us to provide proof to those that don't believe that you were here and met with our leaders? Is there any information that you have that you can say that that would prove that you were real and that you were here?
This is a difficult question. I cannot show myself. I cannot disclose private life publicly of the persons I met.
Hmm. Okay.
What do you want me to tell
Um,
you?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something, maybe something that you saw in the Oval Office when you met with the president, or maybe something you saw in the Pentagon, something that can be verifiable somehow.
Let me think. There were many objects in this oval room, but I remember something on the edge of the office, the desk. There was a sphere of glass that was very pretty, with bubbles still inside in the glass. It had a blue color. There was on the wall two swords crossed under a pattern, a coat of arms.
Mm, okay.
There was an eagle, these beautiful birds, sculpted above this. There was a lot of light coming through the window. There were curtains, very thin and vaporous, but I didn't come to describe to you the decoration of the president's office.
Right. Right. So I think that's plenty. I really appreciate that. Um, what did you, when you were here, what was there anything that surprised you about us humans positively?
Positively, yes, your ability to be curious, to always wanting to know more than you know. This is the very ability that encouraged the Galactic Federation to help you, because by this ability of being curious, of always wanting to know more, your thirst for knowledge, this we call it hope for a species. When a species doesn't want to learn and stays stubborn in its certainties, alike the seekers, the species does not evolve spiritually. Your ability of connecting interdimensionally is something that amazed me. You have so much ability. I like your curiosity. Sometimes you imagine too much. That is not a good point. You need to channel this ability. If one thing I liked first with your people is curiosity. The second is love. You love each other. your family, your children, your partners, your parents, and your friends, this also is hope. I found many loving people. My friend that you name, I don't know. Yes, I he says, he's talking with Ardena.
Oh.
My friend Dwight Eisenhower. He was asking her if he could. My friend Dwight Eisenhower was a very loving man.
Aw.
His heart was very gentle. His love for his family touched my heart.
Aw.
At the time, I didn't have children, and his love for his family that I sensed in his heart made me wanting my own family. He was an enlightened soul. I have met many people who became friends. Their heart was filled with love for their siblings. Love is your power. Curiosity is what will save you because always you will want to be better, to know better, to do better. This is how works evolution.
How were you able to stay in touch with the president? How were you able to stay in touch with him somehow once you left?
When I was there, his bodyguards hated the way I was materializing at will, so they asked me to stop doing this. So that is why I moved in this building, and the president could come to this pentagonal building to visit me. It wasn't that far from where he lived. And when I wanted to visit him, I was brought there in a car. It was long and annoying, but I was following and respecting their procedures. After I left, I kept contact twice with him. He could tell you if he could, but he regretted when I left.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
We kept good contact. Twice I contacted him. We had a long conversation, and I said, I am sorry many times to him. He understood.
Yeah. So did you make any other friends while you were here that you kept in contact with that are human friends?
Yes, I will not disclose all their name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I met a strange man. It was his name, Frank. Frank.
Yeah, who wrote the book?
He wrote many books about me. That is why I stopped seeing him. He was very enthusiastic. I wanted to meet all representatives of the religions of your people. I met one of each. This one was very enthusiastic. He wanted me to confirm his beliefs. You know, we have a rule of non-interference, even in your religions.
Mm.
I encouraged love, peace that is taught in the religion of this man, Christianity. At the start, it was, I believe, a very positive spirituality who became an institution for power. I will not speak too much because I do not wish to tell things that are upsetting for these believers. My friend, he was acquaintance. He said I was his friend. I liked him. He was amusing. I brought him on board my ship because he was curious. This he wrote in his book, but I was sad to read that what he retained from his experience in my ship and my encounters with him was through the eyes of his religion. Everything I said, speaking with Ardena, I am authorized to tell you what I gave him informations about free energy, about the way your people could heal. I told him that he can write about it, but he did it still throughout the eyes of his religion. If you acquire his writing, you need to decrypt beyond the belief of his religion, because in this galaxy there isn't any global religion. Every culture has their own beliefs, primary, before one day they open and elevate their consciousness and discover that all the gods they imagine are one and only flow of life, energy, and love, that all the people in the galaxy and, I suppose, the universe call source. Source is consciousness, but you understand this only once you have left the religions who are part of a primary culture. There is no dogma, there is no rules, there is only energy, and an energy that is conscious and sentient and that animates everything with life. Do not be mistaken. Source is not a god, nor goddess, nor anything above you. Source is within everything, and you can connect to it by connecting with yourself. Your heart is like a portal to source. We do not choose to harm primary belief because we have a law of non-intervention that forbids any member of the Galactic Federation to alter primary beliefs.
But
You
you could
need to
say,
grow.
yeah, go ahead.
I said you need to grow.
But you could say, you could agree that what was written in his book was not how you said it to him.
Absolutely not.
Yes. Okay. It was not that you stated all these things that, I mean, we're very religious. Um, and talking about Jesus Christ and the Lord and all these things. And um, so I have to make the comment that I find it amusing that a man of God would lie, would go, write a book and lie. So that was a little bit disappointing to see. But I wanted to make sure that that I could confirm with you that the things that are religious in his book did not come from your mouth.
It did not, but at the time, people needed it. In that time, in this place in the world, your people considered this religion very importantly. This, what was written in this book, was speaking about love, but in their way that people understand. It was unfortunate because my teachings do not include any earth religious system. I met also with other religious representatives. They did not feel compelled to write a book. This man, Frank, was very original and wanted to prove that his religion was above all the others on your planet, to rectify on the planet where I live, that you call Venus. We do not have earth religions. We have adopted the belief in Imana source.
Well, I think religions are man-made, right? Were made on Earth, so they belong. They're just in our Earth. Is
The
that a
message,
correct statement?
the message of your Jesus Christ was love, was elevated highly in wisdom. This only message would have sufficed, but it didn't. Leaders in your ancient times took opportunity of his popularity to create a system of power and mind control. Now, this mind controlled, this mind controlling, power is Vatican infiltrated until its highest positions by those who are not your allies. The green-skinned ones, not allowed to say more.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for that confirmation. Okay. Did you have any encounters with the men in black at all when you were here? Or do they leave that for mere humans?
I saw some. They were just starting to be created at the service
Oh.
of CIA, secret faction working with Sikaar. They are not all humans. Some are synthetic life forms based on a simple structure, reptiloid. They go by groups. In the group, you will have a mind-controlled human from Earth. Here is what they are. Sometimes you can meet the human once, you can speak with them, but the synthetics are very dangerous. They are employed to scare those who feel compelled to speak. This is what I can say.
Okay,
Of
but
this.
they didn't try to court you in any way or try to get you to leave or, come after you. They didn't come after you.
Their presence was becoming asserted when I left.
Ah, okay. Okay.
They are working also with the military complex.
Yes. Okay.
There were 12 high-grade officers that were controlling everything. These 12 men had a power greater than the president. The president needed to request authorization to have access to the files of what they knew. Oh, the files containing what they knew. Okay. Thank you. These 12 men, this institution is still operational. It hasn't been dismantled. It is now more secret, and I will not disclose where they moved.
Now, this is the Air Force, right? It's the Air Force that started all of it? The US Air Force? Or you can't say?
Partially.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mainly, I can say.
Okay. What happened to the rest of your crew? I know you came with your brother and two ladies that came with you. What happened with them?
One of the ladies became my wife.
Ah, interesting.
My brother was with me. Two other women and two other men. We were a crew of 7 that became 12 at the end. The technicians and the pilots. I can pilot also. I have had military background. Now I am commander, also having the grade of ambassador. My crew, if you want to know, they all came back with me on Nara. Yes, Nara is the planet you call Venus. I come back sometimes now for my new missions with my brother.
Here on Earth?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you have a new mission. Are you able to tell us what that is?
Surveillance and reporting.
Okay. So you don't get involved with any humans?
No,
okay.
I wish not to.
Right. Yeah, I figured.
I have learned my lessons.
Yeah, I'm sure.
This
okay.
is exceptional.
Yes, and we're grateful. Trust me, we're so grateful. So, so everybody went back to Venus, and tell our audience, how are you able to live in Venus if we know that the atmosphere is not conducive to life right now?
We live in biodomes, half buried cities. The atmosphere is 96% carbon dioxide, and we have created a shield that reflects the light and the power of your star. From this shield of acidic sulfuric acid, okay, clouds reflecting the sun light, we gain energy, and it helps us powering our cities, our engines, and from this shield also we draw protection. You cannot see what is happening under the shield.
Hmm. Okay.
We live in dome cities, and a lot of our cities are extended underground, where we recreate viable environments.
So it's like half on the top and half on the bottom kind of thing.
10% on the top.
Oh, okay.
We
Okay.
need this because the atmosphere of Nara has changed. Before, there was water and continents. And when the Great War in your sun system occurred, we needed to change and go underground because
Mm-hmm.
the atmosphere of our planet was ripped off partly and the balance changed because the radiations from sun hit the surface and destroyed everything. This is when we created the shield to stop the radiations.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. So my question would be, knowing that Earth, I mean, you were here and you didn't need any special equipment to live here. Why wouldn't you guys just all move here?
There are many of us already here. We look
Hmm.
like you, so you
Yeah.
don't see us, notice us.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to be able to breathe in your atmosphere, we need to alter our DNA and modify our cells, also prepare our skin to bear the radiations of your sun as it reaches through your atmosphere. We do not usually breathe the same atmosphere. So all of us who are able to come and live and work on Terra have received an enhancement to be able to breathe and not die from the radiations. There is also a gravitational adjustment.
Okay. So did you have to do anything when you went back to Venus, or you're fine when you go back? Since they had to change your DNA to be here for those 3 years, when you went back, did you have to do a change?
Yes, this is
Oh,
why the
oh,
missions are long.
okay. Okay.
We need to adjust.
Okay. Interesting.
All
So
the
are
facilities
okay.
related to the Federation and the Council of Five have regulation in the air pressure and the gravity. So you can go any places, anywhere, in any outpost of the Federation, and you have average regulation of the pressure and gravity, then everyone can breathe the same air and bear the same gravitational ratio. Okay. This is difficult to comprehend, maybe
Mm-hmm.
for you, but it is a science which, when you will understand it, is easy and simple.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm sure. Um, so are you, what dimension are you, or density? Well, density and dimension.
We are in the same dimension as you are. The density, we can move between 3 and 5. This is just a molecular attunement.
Okay. Okay.
You will be able to do this.
You mean in the future?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna move over to try to get some of the Patreon questions answered. So let's see, I think, so based on your experience and all the observations made since last time you were here openly, do you see more aperture and maturity in the human society to make great changes to a new paradigm and new lifestyle for the good of all people? Have you seen a change in us?
Oh, yes, I have seen. You have evolved since the time I came. The, the openness of your hearts and consciousness, you are more aware that you are not alone in the universe because your heart can sense other life forms around you and comprehend that now you are only a pebble in the great universe. The consciousnesses have opened, your souls are starting to encounter the awareness of their true nature. I have seen the difference. When I came the first time, your minds were very restricted in very restraining structures of thinking. Now you have liberated your words, your speech. You have better way of expressing yourselves. You have developed technologies that allow you to speak throughout the whole planet freely. You have developed satellites that allow you to do so. You have grown up in spirituality. You are now going through the great awakening of these species. This is the difference I have seen. But unfortunately, not enough. You need to work. Keep on working more. You need to find peace within your feelings. Then you will make peace with everyone else. This is what I have noticed, the opening of consciousness.
Good. I'm glad that you did and have noticed a difference. I would have been worried if you said no. Sorry, Elena, I didn't mean to
No,
make you laugh.
him and Thorhan just looked at each other and burst laughing. That was nice to see that.
Um, okay, so the next question is that this person understands that the Galactic Federation is not to interfere with the natural process and evolution. And it's clear that Terra has been going through a natural process, hasn't been going through a natural process, as we already know. So the question was, why was the, actually, you know what? I'm not going to ask this because it's not relevant to Valthor, so I'm not going to ask that. Let's see.
Elisa,
Yeah.
for your, I'm gonna make you laugh.
Yeah.
I saw Valthor telling to Torhan about you. She's feeling nervous.
No, I'm nervous because I don't want to run out of time without everybody getting their questions answered.
Torhan said
So,
that you have time.
yeah. So, and I also don't want to aggravate you. Like, I don't want to give you questions that we can ask Thorhan at a different time when the questions that I want asked need to be, like I said in the beginning of the chat, they need to be about you or about Venus or about, when you came and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to keep the questions to that. So another question that we had here was if, how did you handle all the lower frequencies that involve being here? Did they affect you at all? All the, having all that fear and like, I know that our frequency is lower than possibly you, so.
He said, I kept away from it. I had my way of protecting myself by mind shield.
Can you teach us how to do that now? Is that something humans can do?
You can all do this. You just decide to create an energy field around your head that nothing can pass through.
So it's intention or just the thought of, or the intention of creating that around your head.
Intention, creative intention.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain, once receiving the impulse of the intention from the higher being, creates electromagnetic wavelength that you can modulate to manipulate whatever you wish around you, especially thoughts of other beings who are not protected. The intention comes from the being, gives impulse to the brain of the body. The brain creates electromagnetic waves. You can create a shield with this method. This is nature. You all do this. You do not realize, but you all send out these electromagnetic waves throughout your brain. One day, as we wanted to teach you, and as you will now discover yourself by yourselves, this ability can make you do things at distance, like, for instance, moving objects or piloting devices, ship, your cars, your planes, anything, by consciousness, creating electromagnetic waves that you modulate and you give shape by your intention. The power is in your mind, in every level of your mind. Thought or energy or even electromagnetic. You know your planet has an electromagnetic shield.
Mm-hmm.
You do too. You can modulate it by your brain and your thoughts. That is how you can keep away all interferences.
Wow, awesome. Thank you so much. That's super interesting.
Mind control is working also like this. When the waves are sent from far like satellites, this exists.
Wow, awesome. Thank you. So, you know, at the beginning, I had asked you if you know, what to call you. And so what I'm reading here is that in Frank Strange's book, it said that you had a different name.
Valiant is not my name.
Okay. So what is your name?
Valiant has been invented from Val. Val is my real name, Val Thor.
Oh, okay.
Valiant is an earth word,
Right. Okay. All
which
right.
means brave.
Right. Right. And that's why I was wondering about that. Uh,
Val
so
Thor.
yeah, Balfour. Okay, great. Awesome. Um, has has any members of your have any members of Commander Balfour's race been in contact with our current president?
Yes,
And that's talking about Trump, of course.
yes.
Okay.
As
Right.
the world on this planet goes, we made contact. Not especially the people from Nara that you call your evening star Venus, but the Federation. And they are working together with this leader. I am asked not to tell more.
Okay. All right. Okay. No, that's good. You gave me more information than I expected, so thank you so much.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, I thought that Ardana was going to be like, nope, you're not telling that.
She
but
did.
but it, you know, it gives us comfort. Believe it or not, I mean, I know that there's certain things you're not supposed to tell us, but sometimes there are things that you tell us that do give us hope, and that's one of them. To know that at least you guys have, um, you know, that you've at least tried.
When
Okay.
oh, when we do not tell, it is not because we do not care or we do not do anything. It is because if we would, it would compromise the curse of things.
Yes, right. No, I understand. I promise you, I understand. I
We are,
understand why it's being done.
he
You're
said, we are
protecting
here.
us.
He said, we are here.
Yeah.
We are surely protecting you. As I was telling this young lady earlier, this last day, we will never let you down. We never had and never will. Your future is in your hands. We are just here to walk beside you and avoid you to fall. You walk your path. We cannot walk this path for you. We can just hold your backs for you not to stumble, not to fall. If you want our assistance, just raise a hand and hold our hand. We have never let you down. We were here all the time, and we will never let your humanity down. We are here until you reach destination in the next level and the next step of your evolution. And at the end, we will be here with you together, hand in hand, holding each other in our arms, and you will have understood then only why we weren't showing ourselves. There was a reason.
Yes. We are so grateful for this. And we want you to know that we are so very grateful. We know that you are all doing sacrifices for us and we don't see them. And I think it's really important for people to realize that so many races are here helping us and we have no clue. And we're not going to have a clue. We're not going to be informed, but we have to trust that that's happening. And we have to keep hope because the hope is what keeps the vibration high. We have to stay in a high vibration. Um, so a question from our viewers: how old are you in Earth years?
In Earth years, I am more than 330 years.
Wow. So how old were you when you came?
I came many times, but when I came to meet your leaders,
Mm-hmm.
I was 290 years old of your time.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's not that far from the
No,
330.
time doesn't pass the same way on my planet. I age slower. The way I count my years is not the same way you count yours.
Right.
My time is slower, although my planet evolves around the same star faster. This is called distortion, a complicated science. The difference of years in my age doesn't follow the same rate and speed as it would if I had stayed on Earth all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. So would you have physically aged according to your planet, even though you were in our planet, right?
I aged slightly,
Okay.
as if visibly I would have aged 10 years. I know
Oh,
I am confusing your mind.
yes. Yeah. Okay. You answered the question, so I'm going to move on because this is unimportant in my opinion. So, and we are almost out of time. So there is a big thing happening for us on Earth here in the next 10 days or so, when the planets are going to align, and we're going to have the biggest amount of positive light coming into our planet. Um, is there anything special you're going to do during this time? And uh, can you tell us anything about it?
I suppose you are speaking about the planetary alignment
The solstice, yes.
perihelia from the two planets you call Jupiter, Saturn. This is not
Yes.
the solstice.
Oh, okay.
Solstice has nothing to do with this planetary alignment. The fact this planetary alignment occurs 1 hour before the solstice point is an occurrence that is very rare and has nothing to do with the mechanism of the solstice.
So the important part that we want to know is the solstice on December 21st. Is there anything special? Um, what can you
There,
tell us about that day?
that day, on the northern hemisphere of your planet, the nights will be the longest, and on the southern hemisphere, the shortest, because of the inclination of the axis of your planet regarding to the ecliptic. The solstice is the point when your planet, in the course of its orbit, reaches a point where, regarding to the inclination of the axis, the ratio of nights and days reverse and change. In the northern hemisphere, the nights will go slowly shorter, and in the southern hemisphere, it will go slowly longer. These are solstices. As you were asking, the coincidence, the astronomical coincidence with the planetary alignment is interesting because it will create a gravitational pull on your planet, which will be efficient upon the whole planet, of course. This will trigger slightly the tides and the geomagnetism, the electromagnetic field of your planet will have a slight pull towards the alignment of Jupiter, Saturn, which will be close, closer than usual. So anything that will be fluid will feel this pull, be it liquids, be it energies. So it will be the moment to stop moving and sit and allow the gravitational flow to open the energies that are constructing your biofields. It will feel the gravitational pull, and many blockages, personal blockages, can then unlock. I recommend, because of this gravitational pull, that you calm your emotions and allow yourselves to connect with the flow of the universe. This is what I would suggest to do during this combined astronomical two events of the natural solstice that occurs twice a year and has nothing extraordinary, with the pull of the gravitational perihelia of Saturn and Jupiter, which is this that is important, that it occurs on your solstice, has only a metaphorical incidence. What is important is the perihelia of these two planets with yours. This is what is important.
Okay, yeah, because there's some people that think there's a solar flash and that the earth is going to go dark, and all kinds of fear tactics are being put out there. And I just want to make sure that people understand that nothing major is going to happen. And Thorhan already told us this in a different um, broadcast, but people still keep asking about the 21st. So, you know.
Commander Thorhan was speaking of this earlier with me, and Supervisor Ardana. There is a lot of manipulation by fear.
Yes.
And also using humanity's uneducation and ignorance. I would advise, anytime something is told to scare you or put you in a situation of mental or emotional dependence, you refuse it and you educate yourself upon the facts and the scientific truth. Please do not follow words unless science can prove to you these words are true and honest. Anything that is inducing fears, it is not to be taken. This is typical of dark ages, scaring people with messages, predictions, to enslave people's minds emotionally.
Yeah.
Seek for the facts.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's why I bring it up because uh, they keep asking and asking. And so it's important for them to know nothing is going to happen on the 21st other than what Commander Val here explained.
He just said, can you repeat, please? Sorry. He said, I said, sun's flares are the big excuse, always used.
Yes. Yes. Big time. Big
Stop
time.
with sun flares. Your
Yeah.
sun produces flares continuously. It
Yep.
has rhythms and seasons. It has seasons where the flares are more important. All of this is predictable. Predictable. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do not believe anything if it is not double checked scientifically.
Okay. And the last question I have for you is if you were involved at all with the decision of Haim Eshed to disclose information about the Galactic Federation recently, do you know who I'm talking about?
The people I am working on behalf of was involved with his revelations.
Ah,
Yes, I had a discussion with Commander Thor Han before also about these news. You must not merge together two different informations. What this Terran man has disclosed is talking about the Galactic Federation of Worlds.
mm-hmm.
This institution I'm working for has contacted some of your leaders, not that far in time, quite recently, to help your people to get out from the slavery. We are working together with these leaders. Now, you must not confuse this information that this man disclosed with the agreements made in the late 1950s
Oh,
with
right.
the
Mm-hmm.
Sicars.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
These
yeah.
agreements, which took place between 1954 and 1957, were not made with the Galactic Federation of Worlds. They were made with the Sicar Empire and the alliances of Nebu Orion and the Mitra from Andromeda. These two informations are separate.
Yes, absolutely.
Please do not mix.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, we are past our time. It has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. It has been, I just want to thank you so much. And I hope that in the future, as us humans start being better spiritually, that you'll decide to maybe come back and visit us.
I will, for sure, with my family, because by the time technology on your planet will have advanced with great a great step. Okay. I believe your people has a bright and long, enjoyable future ahead. We are here at this moment helping you as older brothers, and soon we will live as a family on the same soil, us living with you on Terra and you living with us on the other outpost of the Federation. I would have spoken with you about all the miserable things and events that are occurring in your solar system on different planets, such as your satellite moon, Mars and its two satellites, Pluto. But I will not, because knowing these things will not make you advance in consciousness, because these things may disturb and bring lower vibration of fear. Do not look back. Look ahead, because ahead is where you are heading. I trust from the bottom of my heart, and all I have endured on your planet, I always knew each second that I was doing this, enduring this, because I had hope and I believed you would succeed, and I still do. I am here, never far, either on mission on your planet, either on my world, Nara, always not far. And now I have connected with Thor Han, and I will keep contact with him, and we will work together. So never we will be far from each other, although I am discreet in contacts. You will be able to reach out to me if you need to ask something.
Oh, wonderful.
I was privileged to be able to express myself publicly once again. And now I will let you, but please do not forget, express yourselves as individuals, not torn by fear, but filled with wisdom. We will meet again. We will never let you down.
Thank you so much. Sending you much love here from everybody on the chat page.
Love is what binds us all.
Yes.
Goodbye, my friends.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, Torhan is going to disconnect the device.
Oh, okay. That was amazing.
Okay, the device is closed, and oh yeah, I'm still in contact telepathically with Torhan. So wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. I'm not that's better than channeling. Maybe we do that now, but it's better when Torhan speaks by himself. It's more fun.
It is more fun when we see their personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great because so I am yes, I was seeing everything through the eyes of Torhan, and it was very moving because to see as well the interaction of the both guys. And I'm glad they are going to keep contact. And well, I knew that was going to happen.
Well, of course, look at us. How can you not keep contact with us? Come on. We're good people.
Yes, and it was good because, Torhan was repeating your questions as you were telling them, and he was speaking quite slowly, and it was working so well. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I think,
Yeah. Well, I know I took it past like 10 minutes past, so I know it's late for you, so I'll let you go. But thank you, Elena. Great job again. Just outstanding work, and just
yeah. So, yeah, I've been very touched by. I know the first time he said these words to me, I heard these words already first time I met him, when he said, "We will never let you down." The first time I heard these words, it was very emotional because he really meant it. And he has such a powerful and beautiful aura, and a lot of charisma. And he's such a good person, so gentle. And I think when he said, "We will never let you down," these words carried to my feeling the whole Galactic Federation, all these races that are here for us, present around
yeah,
this planet now, and are even sacrificing their lives. They are here for us, and they will never let us down. We need to keep that in head. And even in the moments of fear and despair, when we want to shout, "Where are you?" They are here. They are here. They've always been here. That he said that. Wow. Um,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
now,
Exciting times.
yes, yes.
All
So
right. Well, thank you so much, everyone who stopped by and who came. I apologize if we did not get to your questions. I know there were a lot of them, and unfortunately, it's they were just too many, to be able to answer them in this case. So I do apologize if your question was not answered.
next time.
But yeah, but we needed to keep the questions to him, to what it had to do with him. So there were so many questions that were not having to do with him that it was hard for me to find questions that did have to do with him.
You did very
So
well. Amazing, amazing,
yeah,
amazing.
but we love our people, we love our followers, and we want to thank you so much. And if you guys can please share this video to make sure that everybody is aware that they need to go outside, that they need to be talking to them with their heart. And
Equal to equal. Yeah.
yes, equal to equal, asking for help. And the more of us that we can get the word out, the better. So please share as much as you can so that hopefully maybe soon we can meet the 100 million. So we'll see. But
Yes. So that's it. Yes.
yep.
I'm a
Thank
bit.
you. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. We love you. Thank you for being here and supporting us. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week for new
All right.
adventures.
Bye-bye.